Whether you play D&D in person or online, here are 7 free tools that make prepping and playing D&D so much easier. And at this point, I don't think I could play without them. I'm going to show you each tool, including some hidden features that make some of them way more useful, like a new encounter difficulty calculation method in Cobalt Fight Club. I'm also going to show you the incredible customization options in the token editor from Chepeku. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video. Welcome to the table. I'm Kelly, and I'm starting to think that the succubus I met at the tavern isn't actually interested in my collection of authentic Lord of the Rings maps.
Wait a tick.
Cobalt Plus Fight Club is one of the best D&D encounter creation tools out there, and it's completely free. It's very well known, but I started using 2 features recently that aren't as well known that have made it way more useful. I'm sure the encounter creation tool on D&D Beyond has overtaken Cobalt Fight Club in popularity, and it works pretty well, but it has one major flaw. Up until recently, it only had official D&D content on there. There are so many awesome publishers out there making fantastic material for D&D, so if you're only using official content, then you're not getting the full D&D experience. Before we get into those somewhat hidden features, I want to give you a quick overview of Cobalt Plus Fight Club. This is it. Very simple interface. You can enter your party level and number of players up here, and then filter monsters by CR, environment, source, and a bunch of other stuff. Now just add monsters and it'll tell you the difficulty. By default, there are some official sources and there are some third-party ones. But the really cool thing is that if you go up here, you can add your own sources. If you're like me, you probably buy books and PDFs, use them a few times, and then they get relegated to a shelf and forgotten about.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
But if you add the monsters from those books and PDFs in here, next time you're looking for a monster, it'll show up in your search along with the source and the page number. To add your own sources, just click the link to go to the template spreadsheet. Click Make a Copy, then enter the information. It's a bit tedious, but it didn't take as long as I thought, especially if you just enter the name, the CR, and the page number from the index in the back. The other cool feature is to do with encounter difficulty. Have you ever created an encounter that showed up as deadly, but your PCs just walked right through it? Well, there are new encounter difficulty tables in the 2024 DMG, or you can use the Flee Mortals encounter difficulty calculation method right inside Cobalt Fight Club. Just head to the settings, then choose the Flee Mortals method, and that's it. I found that it's way better than the old calculation method. Before we get into some new features in one of my favorite VTTs, I want to show you what I use to run encounters. So just like your dad before a family road trip, it's time to stuff these little monsters into the back seat and head straight to Combat Town. And you better go to the bathroom now, cause we ain't stopping.
Sorry, I can't stop.
Dad, I'm prairie dogging it.
What the hell does that mean?
I've tried a lot of VTTs, but I still keep coming back to Improved Initiative. Why? Because no matter if we're playing online or in person, I find it super quick and easy to use. Also, once you load in all your monsters, everything's just there. No need to keep buying the same content over and over again every time you want to try a new platform. Improved Initiative looks very basic on the surface, which makes it easy to use. But it's actually packed with a ton of useful features that a lot of the VTTs I tested don't have. And it's miles ahead of the combat tracker that's available on D&D Beyond. To use Improved Initiative, just input your player's stats, or just their names, then search through the library to add monsters to your encounter. It comes with the monsters from the SRD preloaded, but if you want to add more, you can either add them one at a time or import a JSON file. If you search around on the Improved Initiative subreddit, you can find JSON files for most books and sources. With the free version of Improved Initiative, all your data is stored in your browser, so just make sure you back up any custom data you've created by exporting a JSON file of your library and keeping it in a safe place. Once you're ready to begin your encounter, just click the play button and it'll roll initiative. Now you can overwrite any player initiative rolls and then hit the checkmark to start the encounter. Then you can use the next button to advance the turns. When it's a monster's turn, their stat block will show up in the sidebar and you can click on any abilities to roll them. This saves so much time because it rolls the dice and does all the math for you. To apply healing or damage to a creature, just click on their health and type in a positive number to apply damage or a negative number to apply healing. Now for a couple of features that aren't as well known but are extremely useful. Any ability that's limited, like a once per day ability or spell slots, can be tracked through here. Just click the next dot over to mark off a use of that ability or spell slot. This is so much better than scratching it down on a notepad, especially if you've got a ton of monsters. Do you ever get into a situation where you have a bunch of one type of creature in combat but forget which one is which?
You!
Yes?
Not you, him! What's your name?
I am me.
Here's me.
And I'm you.
Improved Initiative automatically puts numbers next to creatures that are duplicated, but you can also use the tag feature. I find this incredibly useful. You can add tags in here for things like Old Goblin, Blue Goblin, No Hat Goblin. You can also use it to track conditions, which is what I think it was designed for, but using it for No Hat Goblin has been very helpful. Speaking of differentiating monsters, I want to tell you a bit about the new token customizer from Cheipeku, the sponsor of today's video. You've probably heard of Cheipeku maps, but have you heard of Cheipeku tokens? In case you haven't heard of Cheipeku, Chei and Peku are two artists who make beautiful battle maps, scenes, and now tokens. But not just any regular tokens. They'll be releasing new tokens every week that you can use in their customizer to change almost any aspect of the token, even their armor and accessories. Let's make a token for my next wizard character. They have presets over here, or there's the randomize button in case you want to quickly make monsters in a group look unique. If we go to customize token, then we can change all of the options. You can even change the beard length. The first time I saw this, I was honestly surprised by how many options there are. Okay, I'm definitely going for long beard. And now, hat or no hat? That's the question. Oh, pointy hat. I think I'm gonna make him bald with a huge beard and then maybe an owl on his arm. Yeah, and you can even change the color of the owl. All right, I think I'll stay with the staff, and you can change the frame as well. The book is cool. I think I like this Warforged one, and I want to change the color of his robe. So I'll go up here to colors, robe, and I could choose one of these, or I can make it any color that I want. Maybe some kind of red? Alright, he definitely looks kind of evil, but also totally badass. If you want to try out the token editor, it's available from the Cheipeku website, so head to the link down in the description to check it out. Now that you have a bunch of unique tokens, you need to put them on a map. Now, I like sniffing freshly printed maps as much as the next guy. But sometimes, even when we're playing in person, it's just easier to use a digital map. And although I've been using Above VTT more recently, I keep coming back to Owlbear Rodeo. Especially since they released a big update a few months ago with some cool new features. Owlbear Rodeo is an extremely simple and easy to use but powerful VTT. Only you need an account, your players don't need one, and there's an incredibly generous free tier. Just throw down a map, use their default tokens, or your super nice customized Cheipeku tokens, and you're off to the races. By the way, if you're finding this helpful, consider hitting the subscribe button. It doesn't do anything for the performance of the video, but my happiness is tied to it. In the fall, Owlbear Rodeo released an update that adds dynamic lighting and vision natively, as well as these cool weather effects. They released a video that had a lot of really interesting technical detail about how they did it, but the result of all the work is that even with all the effects piled on, everything is super smooth and quick. Now before we talk about a simple Discord integration that has made our online games a lot better, I want to show you the tool I use to plan more advanced combat encounters. BattleSim is a free D&D combat simulator made by fellow YouTuber and all-around nice Modron, Trekaros. I've linked Trekaros's channel, BattleSim, and all the other tools down in the description. BattleSim allows you to simulate combat on a round-by-round basis, giving you HP by round and the outcomes of the encounters. Now obviously this can't account for different tactics your players might employ, or Dave's brand new dice that just happens to be lucky and has rolled nothing but nat 20s all night, even though he swears he floated it and it's all above board, but he also won't let me float it, and he keeps telling me that trust is the basis of every relationship, even though he makes me roll in front of the end screen for big moments. Anyways, BattleSim has helped me plan more advanced encounters where creatures might enter on a future round, and it can even give you an idea of how long an encounter will be. I found it immensely helpful, and I think it's definitely worth checking out. It's what I use to balance my arena battle adventure, which is a horde mode survival encounter where new monsters keep appearing on each round and the players have to survive 10 rounds. It's the companion adventure for the paper terrain arena I built. If you want to check out that adventure, as well as a naval sabotage encounter, another non-combat encounter that tests your players' creativity, a persuasion minigame, and a bunch of other stuff, or if you just want to support what I do, you can check out my Patreon, which is linked down in the description. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I have an announcement that I'm very excited about. Alright, first the Discord integration, then a free map generator. When you play in person, you're typically sitting around a table, so if you want to hand something out, or gesture to something on a map, or have your players work on a puzzle, they can. But online, these things are quite a bit more difficult. Luckily, there's a free whiteboard integration in Discord. You can start a whiteboard in the current channel, and then every time you have a handout, you can just put it on the whiteboard and everyone can see it. You can use this to show things, and your players can use it to put clues together, make plans, and inevitably draw a bunch of dicks.
Here I am, this little kid, and I can't stop drawing dicks to save my own life.
But just know that in 3 to 5 sessions, they'll get tired of drawing dicks, and then it'll be a great tool. Wadabow. I'm so sorry. I tried to look it up, but I still don't know how to pronounce it despite using it for years. Oleg Dolia is a software developer who goes by the name Wadabow and has created a suite of map generators. If you just need a quick map to throw down at the table, or uses inspiration for drawing your own, these tools are awesome. There's a regional map generator, a town generator, a neighborhood generator, and now they're working on an interior map generator called Dwellings. All of these run in your browser, and you can easily export the images once you find something you're happy with. There are a ton of options in each of the generators to tweak the result. The maps work great as a digital export, or you can make them printer friendly to hand out at your table. It's so easy to spit out a map for any random town my players come across, and they love being able to see the maps and picture the town more clearly.
Imagination.
You can also put pins down on top of one of these maps and store lore and information about different locations right on the map using the last tool. But before we get to that, announcement time. Over the last few months, Loren and my friend Alec and I have been working on a podcast, and it'll be releasing on Monday, March 3rd. It's called We Like D&D, and it's a show where we chat about D&D and TTRPGs in variety show style segments. We've been working really hard on it, and we're really happy with how it's coming together. There will be 3 episodes releasing on March 3rd, and then a new episode will come out on the first Monday of every month, with a bonus episode on the Patreon. There's a link in the description to follow the podcast so you can get notified once it releases. The last tool in this list is the completely free campaign management app called Obsidian. Well, it's actually a note-taking app, but there's a whole community of developers who have made TTRPG specific plugins, which turn it into an excellent campaign management app, and the one I've been using to run my games. If you want to learn more about it and all the cool free plugins you might want to try, check out this video here. I appreciate you.